My apologies for that. I was interrupted unexpectedly. This is part two. As I was saying, you're given creative energy in every aspect of your life. When you wake up, you can turn it into anything you want. The truth is that once you are able to access this, because you're now in acknowledgement of the fact that you are energy, frequency, and vibration, that the energy is neither creative nor destructive. It has no intrinsic value or signature to it. It's not positive or negative. When you reach for it, it becomes an extension of your energy. That's when it assumes a specific vibrational frequency, positive, functional, negative, dysfunctional, whatever. So it's really always up to you as the artist to choose how you're going to manipulate this energy and how it assumes which specific form in the physical. Now, if you are, for example, unhappy with your current situation, you can take that reality and transmute it into an alternate reality, a parallel reality. If you could just literally flip it at any time, you could transmute one thing into another, you could do whatever you want. That's the power of energy, frequency, and vibration. So um, unfortunately, what people do is they love gossiping and problems and complications and complaining and hassling, and they make their lives exceedingly harder and harder. And they overcomplicate things when they shouldn't be complicated at all. Divinity is simplicity. So this is a pattern that people follow from programming that causes them to just be, inherently obedient to that programming, that operating system, that software device. So once you can bypass that mechanism and remove it altogether, not even shut it down, but deprogram and just remove it altogether, and then you can operate as an individual, proactive, autonomous, self-sufficient, independent, self-reliant, self-generating, self-motivating, self-loving. Then that's when that energy becomes a viable resource as a useful tool to actually, for the first time in your life, actually start building things in your life instead of helping you destroy them. Because don't forget, when you can just be sitting around somewhere and all of a sudden you have these thoughts popping in your head of not of a good nature, that's the external darkness working in tandem with your inner demons attempting to get you to destroy yourself, because the darkness will always give you everything you need in order for you to destroy yourself. So once that power of suggestion has successfully been implanted, your mind is convinced, okay, I'm going to go in this direction, and you will make that a reality, and you'll begin sending out projections and so on and so forth. So therefore, you have to get to the point where you don't allow that anymore, and you're not plugged into your lower self, that optical three-dimensional paradigm. And then you can actually have access to this energy as always, but instead of using it to work against you and work against others and just destroying your desires and your preferable reality, you're now working towards the benefit of actually achieving that and making it something that's going to see fruition and be realized, because you're not working against yourself anymore. And this is something we all need to learn, because especially these days, people are inherently obedient to this operating system known as the Matrix, and they just follow it. They'll even defend it. What happened 4 years ago is a travesty, absolute travesty. I mean, and people were actually defending these things, never being told what was in that stuff. By the way, you know, the sharp thing they stick in your body. Nobody ever told you what was in it, and they never will. Because if you did, there would be class action lawsuits around the world. Okay? So that's why those people that took that were made to sign a waiver. Okay? Just to give you an insight into the insanity of this stuff. Because they're plugged into something low vibrational, low dimensional, and something demonic. So they can't think for themselves. So what I'm referring to is actually, for the first time, you taking charge of your own life and saying to yourself, I respect the fact that God gives me unlimited access to the power of the universe, and I'm not going to use it to destroy myself anymore. That's basically the premise of this video, part two. Sorry for the interruption. I was recording somewhere. Somebody just barged in on me. That's why I always have to find a spot somewhere where there's nobody. That's why I usually film in my car, because it's the quietest place, and it's a place where I won't be interrupted. I don't particularly like making videos in my car, but it is what it is. But anywho, this is part two to that, and you just have to recognize that you have no limits. You're not a prisoner. There's no chains around you. You're doing it to yourself. So use that energy for creative purposes, not 86% of it or 49% of it or 13% of it. Use 100% of your creative energies towards the design, fabrication and construction of whatever you desire to call your life. That's as easy as I can put it, and stop trying to make things happen or control outcomes, and just allow things to flow freely. When you know that, like I said in previous videos, the best thing you could do with your energy is place it on things you can control, you can create, and you can change. But if you realize that you can't do those things, surrender to the universe, because there's something out of your hands that's attempting to allow you to realize that this is out of your control. Let us take care of it. We're working in your favor. Instead of being egotistical and suspicious, like, what is this happening on? It's not going the way I planned. Something's wrong. Somebody must be plotting against me. All that crazy garbage they fill your head with the Matrix. Nobody's plotting against you as far as the divine. The Matrix has been plotting against you from the day you arrived here. Straight truth. And they're not your friend. None of the three-letter agencies are your friend, trust me. They all meet in the woods with their demonic covens, plotting the fate of the world and determining the fate of people. They all do it. No one is off that list. They're all in on it. But anyway, sorry for the interruption again. I want to just cut this video by saying that you are the power, you are the miracle, you are the master manifester, you are superfluous in every area of your life. You just have to give yourself credit for that. But be realistic as well. You're not perfect. Some days you got it, some days you don't. That's fine. That's the fluctuations of life. It's going to happen, especially with what they're doing around with the microwaves and the stuff in the food and the water and the air. It's all working. It's being attempted to work against you, but it's not going to work because they keep forgetting about source. But anyway, you are source. So once you realize that, you can use your power for whatever you want. You can manipulate energy any which way you want. The only reason why people have a problem with the manifestation process is because they're plugged into something low dimensional, aka the Matrix, while at the same time they're attempting to manifest something high vibrational, and they're not connected to their higher self. Because all of your energies that you should be placing towards having faith, trust, hope, belief, knowing, certainty, and thriving in that determined state is devoid, because you're plugged into something that's telling you to be uncertain, to be afraid, fear, paranoia, trepidation, uncertainty, doubt, worry, panic. That's what's filling your mind and contaminating your imagination with fear. So you're actually plugged into one while you're asking for another, and it just won't work. It won't work. That's the inherent dilemma of human beings. They just can't seem to figure out the rudimentary basics of how this works. It's very simple. If you're plugged into toxicity, don't expect to be healthy. I'm just saying.